Okay, so now we can come to our next part, and these are if-then statements. So first we will, as always, create new class that is called if-else account. I will use 01. Okay, so we have a task, and the task is the following one. Write a program that checks whether your account balance is strictly greater than 100. If yes, print a corresponding statement to the console. So first, what we see from the task, we see that we have one variable, and this is the variable that has to contain the account balance. So let us name this variable account balance, and let us say that this variable is of type data type integer. Integer account balance. We will do it in 2 lines to make it clear. And this is also the way how I do advise you to write your programs at the beginning or like during our introduction course for readability for you. So first we have declared, and now we are initializing it. Account balance equals 110, let us say. So let us say that our balance right now has 110 euros. There are on the balance. So just for you, maybe if you would like to do this declaration and assignment on one line, then you would write in the following way. Integer account balance is 110. So let's come back to the task. If your account balance is greater than 100, then print a statement to console. If the condition evaluates to true, then do a statement. And this is how we will first write the framework for you that you can use later in your codes. So if is a keyword, and then we have a condition in brackets, normal brackets. Then we are opening curly brackets and we are putting inside the statement. So of course this is now where I receive errors because this is not a valid code. This is just for you, the framework for you. If condition evaluates to true, you can also write here like just take what is better for you, condition, or maybe better Boolean expression. In this way you know that the condition that you have to put inside has to be evaluated to true or false, because when this condition is evaluated to true, then this statement that you will write here inside and these curly brackets will be executed. So now we will I will first copy this. Now I will comment it out with shortcut Ctrl/, just for you to, I will leave it to you, for you. And here we will put our Boolean expression. So what is our Boolean expression? Check whether account balance strictly greater than 100. So expression is account balance greater than 100. If yes, print the corresponding statements to the console. So if yes means that if this condition evaluates to true, and this is what we have to put here into our statement. So print to the console means that we have to use our system out println statement, and we will just put inside save balance. And now we are executing, and we receive indeed the note that the balance is safe because the account balance is now 110. So the next part, we will create another class of, oh wait, maybe we'll just write here. So let us say that our task is a bit more complicated and we have next part to it. If the account statement is lesser than 100, then print a warning that the balance is low to the console. So it means that first we have our if condition, and next we have another condition. And this is when we use our if else statement. I will copy this one. So this is our if statement. And now, and here we have our if else statement. If Boolean expression, I will comment this now out. Let's make the proper indentation. If Boolean expression evaluates to true, then please execute this statement. If this is false, and this is the second option, so if the evaluation, this Boolean expression is related to false, then please perform the following actions. So we are putting here else, and we are opening curly brackets and putting here inside the statement. That will be executed if the Boolean expression is evaluated to false. We will comment this out. So coming back to our task, if the account statement is lesser than 100, then print a warning that the balance is low to the console. And it means that we are just adding one more statement, else, to our existing one, if statement. And this is else system out println, and we are putting warning inside, low balance. Always when you are writing the code, just have a look on this line here. You will see here from time to time some error pop-ups. So usually you will even receive advice what you have to do to get rid of the error. So here we see we are missing semicolon. Let us change this value to 99 and execute the code. So now we see, since this expression is evaluated to false, because our account balance is now 99 euros, the else statement is executed. Next, let us make the task even more complicated. We are putting one more part of the task here. So if the account balance is less than 0, then give an alert about negative account. So if the account balance is less than 0, means that we have one more if Boolean expression. So the framework in this case looks in the following way. So we have our if statement. Let us copy this initial one to save some time. So we have if Boolean expression is true, then we have a statement that will be executed. Then we have another else and another if condition that we are putting here. So we have one more Boolean expression that will be evaluated. If this Boolean expression evaluates to true, then this statement will be executed. If not, then we have the last option, and this statement will be, in this case, executed. So I will comment this out. And now what we have now already our account balance with true condition and false condition for expression if the account balance is bigger than 100, and we have here if the account balance is less than 0. So where do we put this statement? This statement we will put here, else if, in this way. Opening curly bracket, then you press enter and you have automatically second one. And we are putting here system out print line statement with the message, actually with alert, that we have negative balance. And then we have our default option when the condition evaluates to false, that warning that we have a low balance. So where do we have here an arrow? Yeah, we didn't put here the condition, of course. Account balance is lesser than 0. And now we will change our account balance value and we will execute it. So yes, indeed, we have negative balance. So this is it for else if else statement. I will show you now one more code, so we will not type it, I will just show you. This is number 4 here. Exactly. So when you will be looking into some search engine on the codes, Java codes that are already there, you could see this type of writing if statement, if condition, and then statement without putting curly brackets here in this place. So before statement and after statement, so from both sides of statement. This will be executed by Java, and this is valid statement without using curly brackets. However, this is not advised option from because of two reasons. First reason, this is not this is not a convention way. So the if statement is should be used with curly brackets. I see here this one is wrong. This one. The second reason is actually that when you do this way of coding, only the first line of that comes after if condition or Boolean expression will be perceived as statement that refers to this condition. For example, if you have this code, I will comment this code here out. If you have such a code that if account balance is more than 100 and you want to print those two statements, you need to put here curly bracket and here curly bracket. And then both statements will be executed if this condition evaluates to true. However, if you do not put here curly brackets and let us put here 110, then only the first, just a second, 90. Well, only the first line will be executed if this one is true. So the thing is that this second statement here, it uses, like for you, you perceive it as a statement that belongs to if statement because you see here indentation, like this space here. However, Java, as you remember, does not see the difference between tabs or spaces, indentation, so to say. This is used only for you to improve readability of your code. So that's why it is, if you see such kind of code, please do not do in the same way. Okay, so now we are coming to the next option, to our next part, and these are nested if-else statements. We are opening a new class and the name is nested if-else 01. And the task that we have, we will put at the beginning: write a program for a film rental company. If the age of a person is higher than 16, then print welcome to the console. Otherwise, print a message that the person is too young. The program should also check whether the age value is valid, that is greater than 0. If not, it should print an error message to the console. So in this case, you could use if-else statements, and in this way, in this case, you would have to write 3 if-else statements. So the first option, like you would have 3 options. The first option is that you have when the age is greater than 0 and greater than 16, then you are printing welcome. If the age is greater than 0 but less than 16, then you are printing that the person is too young, and that the age is less than 0, then you are printing the error message. So these 3 options that you could use for this task. However, if you are using nested if-else statements, then your code will look a bit better, and you will see another advantages of this option. So let us do this. Let us use nested if-else statement for solving this task. So if, and we have to put here condition. So first we are starting with our guideline, so to say, for this nested if-else, if condition, and now okay, let us do even in another way. We have one if condition with here statement, And you would also have here the else statement. Statement this way. So you have if, this is Boolean expression. If this is true, then this statement will be executed. And if this is false, this statement will be executed. When you are using nested if-else, then you are writing, instead of one statement, you are writing another if-else statement. So here we write if, again, condition, opening curly brackets, here comes our statement. Then we can have again our else statement. That is here. So this is how the guideline, the framework looks. We will actually just use it. We will copy it and comment this out so that you can see it still. If condition. So what is the very first condition? That is maybe the very first is that whether the age is valid or not. So if the age is valid, that is bigger than 0, then we can continue to check other conditions. And that is we are first, but for the very first part that we had to do, actually we had to initialize, to declare and initialize our variables. So we have a variable age that is, let us say, is now 15. So we have a person that is 15 years old. First, we need to check whether this person is, the age is greater than 0. And we can already write, so if this is true, then we have other conditions connected to the age that is bigger than 16 years old. If not, then we have an arrow. So we can already actually write this statement. So system out println arrow. So the next part is that if the age of a person is higher than 16, then print welcome to the console. So the next condition is to check here our nested condition, if whether the age is greater than 16 years old, then we are printing welcome. And if not, print a message that the person is too young. So if not, we're just printing too young. Sorry. And we are now executing our code. So we see, unfortunately, the person is too young, and he or she cannot cannot watch this film because the person is 15 years old. Then next, we are making our task a bit more complicated, and we are adding another part to it. If a person is a member of your company for more than 5 years, suggest a special offer. If a person is a frequent client, provide a discount. So first, what we see here is that we will probably have another additional variables. So if the person is member of your company, if the person is member or not. So we have a variable of Boolean type. Let us say that this variable, so Boolean with the name frequent client. Or maybe like member of a company or not, doesn't matter. And first, like we can already leave it, but we will also initialize it to check this condition when we will execute our code. yeah, this was here. So if a person is a member of your company for more than 5 years, suggest a special offer. Member of your company. So member of a company that is more than 5 years. So we see that this will be a variable that will have values years inside, and this integer suits perfectly for this way. Let us say member of a company, membership. So how many years are there? Membership years. Membership years. Let us say that for our client, this is now 2. If a person is a frequent client, provide a discount. Frequent client, yes or no? So this variable will be of Boolean type, Boolean variable, and frequent client is the name of this variable. So let us say that the person for whom we will execute our program is a frequent client. So this is true now. Okay, so now we have declared and initialized our variables. And now where will we put our code? So if we have a person who is a member or a frequent client, that's clear that actually this person has to be older than 16 years old. So it means that we are putting these statements here additionally. So first we will print, if the person is older than 16 years old, we will print welcome to the console, and we are checking the following conditions. If membership, the name, here's the name of our variable, membership years, bigger than 5 years, and we are putting this condition into brackets. Then we want to print the message. So what do we need to print? Suggest a special offer. So let's just copy it. Special offer. And we have another condition that is actually also applicable to people who are older than 16 years old. That's why we are also putting this if condition here. Where's our variable? Frequent client. If frequent client equals true, then give a discount. And semicolon. Not here, here. And the rest of the code will be executed as in the previous example. So now we have we will change this the age of our person, of our client, to 24, and we are executing it. So what we have here, welcome and discount. Welcome, okay, so the person with 24 years old is older than 16, yes, so welcome is printed out. Membership years, is it greater than 5? No, so unfortunately person doesn't receive special offer, but this person is a frequent client, this is true, that's why he or she receives a discount. So this is how the code, like how this task that consists of actually 3 parts, how it looks like. So the first, what you have seen here was how to split the task into smaller parts and how to code starting from overall statements and then coming deeper and deeper into the nested if-else statements according to the task. The second, you have seen here how with just several statements the whole code can look very, very nice, very good structured, and the readability is also very good, so this is pretty nice. I will just show you now how the same code would look like if you would use not nested if-else statements, but just normal if-else statements that you would write after each other, just counting, like writing all possible options that could be there. So this is number 3 here, exactly. So now I will enlarge it. So this is how much code, lines of code you would write. Let us check here, this part instead of this part. So you see that first, this is much less code that you have to write. Second, the code has some redundancy because you're writing several times the same statements here. So you will have a possibility to look at those codes, both of codes, at home. Okay. So this was the nested if-else statement, and the next what we're going to look on are switches.